again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's talk. Today we're going to do Columbo fan walk and talk 3, I think it is. And I didn't start until I started on the downhill, so you wouldn't have to hear my heavy breathing. But today, I think I want to focus on the Robert Kulp episodes where he plays the villain. I think in all 3 of those he's the villain, yeah. And I just think he does a great job. But first of all, the one about subliminal messages that are spliced into film, and he does that. It's really quite far-fetched, but he splices in these pictures of a cold drink so that, and also feeds his boss, not boss, but client, some caviar, turns up the heat, splices in these pictures of cool cold drinks, so only he gets uncomfortable and walks out of the screening of a movie, and then he slips out, turns on a tape recorder, and there's and people can't tell the difference between live and Memorex, and then he slips out and goes and kills this guy when he's at the drinking fountain. But I mean, it's far-fetched, but it is a fun episode. And then he also has to kill another person. He's filmed the guy that runs the projectionist, because he figures it out, right? So he has to kill him, a second murder. And I'm trying to think what the motivation is of the murder. The motivation is that the guy that gets killed, the client, threatens to uncover his way of business and the way he blackmails his clients with this voluptuous girl who has a fabulous body, as he said. So it's kind of far-fetched, but it's fun. And there's so many scenes I love in it. I love the projectionist, Raju. He's got a real thick New York accent. I think he's the guy he was in a NyQuil commercial from about the same time. You can find that, but that's good. But anyways, and he's plays a great character. But anyways, Columbo plays does some good police work in it, and also uses subliminal cuts to have the criminal, Robert Kulp, come back into his office and search out where he has this, I guess he used a .22 to kill the guy, and shot him with a .38 gun or something like that. But what he did is he had what do they call it? A calibration fitting inside the gun that made it shoot 22 bullets, but the gun was actually 38, right? And he hid the calibration, what do they call it, downsizer to, he hid it in the lamp in his office. And Columbo uses these subliminal cuts, or these spliced in things that when he was in a viewing of a film, made him think that, oh, I'm gonna get caught. Somebody knows that I've hid that in the office. So while he spliced those in, Columbo had those spliced into the film, and then he's ready there in the room or just outside the room to take a picture of Kulp as he comes into the office and finds that, what do they call it, calibration modifier for the gun. But so, I mean, it's pretty far-fetched, but it's a great story. And strangely enough, one of my favorite scenes, I guess another part of his job is he goes to supermarkets and he runs the cameras that are secret cameras, hidden cameras in a supermarket, right? And he goes into the supermarket and he's adjusting some things, and that supermarket scene, I just love that. It reminds me, that store reminds me of the grocery store I went to when I was growing up. The layout, the way everything just seemed to be laid out perfectly. In our neighborhood, I think when we were young, it was an Albertsons in Salt Lake City, of 33rd South and about 31 East, an Albertsons, and then it got changed to the store, and then it got changed to a Alpha Beta grocery store, and now it's a thrift store. But the layout of that grocery store just brings back so many memories of. I remember as a kid in elementary, and now probably in elementary school, I'd love to go shopping with my mom, because I always would coax her to buy me a treat, either some Callard and Bowser's caramels, or British, but they happen to have them, or red licorice, or some. It just brings back so many memories, and the displays, and how they always had the sandwich meats out there, and then also the cigarette section. It was so funny, just stacks and stacks of cigarettes, but you don't see. I don't know. I think they keep those behind the counter now. But anyways, it was such a fun episode. And then, let's see, the football. Here's the one of those episodes that the motive is so weak. I love the episode, but I still can't think of what's the motive. It's the football episode where he's the PR man for a football team or something like that, and the owner dies and leaves the football team to his son, and Keppel murders his son somehow. I get the impression he was fell in love with his wife, but it really doesn't. It really doesn't explain that feature. It just kind of hints at it. So, also in that episode, there's a kind of a small role for the actress from Rhoda. What's her name? But Bigorji. She plays a prostitute slash part-time secretary slash part-time bug setter. The story is so far-fetched, but it's a fun story. And the guy who gets killed happens to be the piano player in the cruise episode, who was suspected of the murder but was not the murderer. And then the third episode with Kulp is one where he plays short-tempered uh, private detective, right? And in this case, he accidentally kills the wife of his client, who, for some reason, I don't know, he was spying on the wife and found evidence of an affair, but for some reason oh, that's right, he was not going to tell the husband, and he brings the woman in to see that he's not telling the husband that she was unfaithful, and she swears she'll never do it again, blah blah. Her much older husband, Mr. Kennicott. And then he makes her an offer. He says, in return, I want you to just be a source of information for me. Your husband's in charge of a newspaper and in the political season, blah blah blah, and information is our only stock in trade, blah blah blah. So anyways, he makes her an offer, and then for some reason she, instead of being thankful, all of a sudden gets this bad attitude and goes and confronts him at his beach home, confronts Kulp, Robert Kulp, at his beach home, and he has a short temper, and he struck her across the face, and she falls on this glass table, breaks the glass, and she's accidentally killed, right? So that's one of the only accidental killings that I'm aware of, but it is Culp plays the perfect guy with a short temper. Oh man. Anyway, so how long we talked? 12 minutes. So that's my synopsis of the 3 Robert Kulp episodes, and I must say that they're 3 of our favorite. We watched them time and time again, and come to find out, I look up the information on Robert Kulp. I can't remember if he just recently died or still alive. I think he recently died. But his wife he divorced her, but his wife was that Oriental girl. It was the House of Mary Choi in the restaurant episode where the guy poisons the wine, the French guy, I can't remember what his name, he poisons it, but that is a great episode all about food and things. But come to find out, Kulp is actually married that Mary Choi. Can't remember her real name. I don't know how long their marriage lasted, but I'm going to keep this episode about this long, and I hope you enjoy listening to me talk about my favorite episodes, but we'll see how it goes, and see if I get any views. My second one already got a pretty good start with some views, and I actually posted that first, but because the episode 1 was taking longer to process, I actually posted it to YouTube first, and it ended up getting more views than the first one. But anyways, thank you for listening.